The Grand Chamber of the Alliance Council floated in orbit above the crystalline world of Verilise Prime. Representatives of 63 species filled the amphitheater, their voices low with dread as the holographic battle map projected the latest crisis. A swarm of Dracian warships, thousands strong, was descending on the colony world of Ura 3. The Drexians were infamous for overwhelming their prey with sheer numbers and annihilating everything in their path. No species had ever beaten them in a straight fleet engagement. Counselor Verith of the Koran Hive coiled her limbs anxiously. Our simulations predict the defenders will last 6.4 standard hours at most, she said, her voice echoing through the chamber. Ura 3 is lost. We must evacuate. Several counselors murmured agreement, until the human representative, Captain Jonathan Rourke, leaned forward in his seat. 6 hours? You're being generous. We'll need less than 10 minutes. The chamber went still. Veritha's eyes narrowed. Captain, your arrogance is noted. The humans have only a token fleet in the Ura 3 system. You cannot possibly. Rourke cut her off with a faint smile. We don't fight Drexians the way you do. You've been trying to match them ship for ship. We prefer efficiency. Before anyone could question him, the holographic display updated. A small Terran task force had just entered Ura 3's outer orbit, only 12 ships against the Dracian swarm. Counselor Resh of the Zelvan Confederacy hissed. 12 ships? This is suicide. Rourke didn't answer. He just sat back and watched. The feed from the forward recon probes filled the chamber's projection field. The Terran ships formed a loose arc, their hulls matte black, their heat signatures baffled by active stealth systems. At the center of the arc, a single massive vessel, designated TSN Dauntless, extended its launch bays. The Drexians opened fire first. Thousands of plasma bolts streaked toward the Terran line and vanished. Gasps rippled through the chamber. The plasma bolts had been intercepted mid-flight by clouds of counter-drones. Microscopic machines programmed to swarm around incoming projectiles and bleed their energy away. Then the Dauntless fired. It wasn't a single gun. It was hundreds coordinated railgun turrets, missile tubes, and beam arrays firing in perfect sync. Every shot was calculated by a predictive AI that had been analyzing Dracian attack patterns for decades. The first minute erased 200 Dracian ships. The second minute was worse. Terran Gravlance weapons punched through the Dracian vanguard, collapsing shields and snapping hulls in half. Secondary detonations rippled through the swarm as Terran missiles homed in on reactor signatures. By the fourth minute, the swarm's formation had collapsed. By the seventh, the Drexians were fleeing, their comm channels screaming in panic. The Dauntless did not pursue. It simply held position above Ura 3, its fleet intact, its shields barely scratched. The council chamber was silent except for the hum of the projectors. The battle had lasted exactly 8 minutes and 12 seconds. Counselor Verith turned slowly toward Rourke. How? The human captain's smile didn't reach his eyes. The Drexians expect their enemies to fight fair. We don't. We studied every engagement they've fought in the last 100 years, learned how they think, how they move. We built weapons to exploit every weakness they didn't know they had. And then we hit them so hard they'll never forget it. Counselor Resh's frills twitched. You make it sound easy. Not easy, Rourke said, standing. Just final. As he left the chamber, the alien representatives whispered among themselves, some in awe, some in fear. The humans had taken a battle the Council's best minds predicted would last hours and turned it into a rout in minutes. And somewhere, far from the polished calm of Verilise Prime, the Dracian swarm limped home, forever remembering the day they met humanity on the battlefield, and lost before they'd even begun.